Pastor, for doing the heavy lifting on that quote. One of my objectives for my speech today is to not rely on notes. So I decided that the best way to accomplish that was to not have to memorize a 140-word quote. My focus today is that phrase, to know great enthusiasms. I love that word, and I love that, that concept that credit does not go to the critic, but to the one who's out there trying, doing, making an effort, getting blood, sweat, and tears on their face, dust from the floor of the arena. So what does the word enthusiasm mean? I looked it up in the dictionary, and right after a big picture of our own Mary T, there were words like fervor, passion, ardor, an active interest in things. And so I decided to share some of the things that are enthusiasms of mine and have you think of some of your own. In the professional world that I've come to know, I've definitely dabbled in many enthusiasms. I started out in college majoring in business. Then I moved into finishing with a degree in education. I married an Air Force guy. Then I went on to work for civil engineers and then in an air separation plant. I went on to go to serve as an event planner for an aid association for adults with developmental disabilities. I found out about marriage, in-laws, conception, miscarriage, childbirth, and more childbirth. Parenting, and more parenting. I've had a lot of relationships. I've studied a lot of different things. As my children got older, I helped start a preschool, learned how to be a center director. And then I moved on to things like being a bank teller, the director of a chamber of commerce, and then on to selling cell phones. Right now I'm digging into the curious world of insurance. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it kind of arena. And so I've explored many, many enthusiasms. But my friends, at times I've had times of depression too. With it, the accompanying apathy that comes with depression. Those valleys of life that get you down and you wonder if you can just keep going on. Sometimes I stay there longer than others. But then I look at people like my own grandma. She's 88 years old. She's been widowed now for almost 15 years. She's lived on the same farm for almost 70 years, and she still does everything for herself. I talked to her on the phone yesterday, and we were planning, my parents have their 50th wedding anniversary coming up in a couple of weeks. So we were planning the weekend where all 22 of us, kids, spouses, and grandkids, are going to spend the weekend there. She is on it. She's got menus planned. She's got paper plates commandeered. She is ready. She's figured out where all the tables and chairs are going to go and where everybody's going to sit. And it just brought to mind how we can all just keep going and keep learning and looking for things to be enthusiastic about. Because after all, we just keep going, and the more efforts that we try, the more likely we'll be successful in something. Just like the quote says, the doer of deeds are the ones that get the doers of deeds are the ones that get the credit. So, I'm thinking about other things about my childhood that made me a curious learner. I was the kind of person that would go into the library and just randomly close my eyes and point to a book on a shelf, and that would be the next one I would check out. I would just want to read about anything that I could. There's very few things that I don't want to read about. There are so many different, you would be amazed at how many podcasts I subscribe to. I'll never have enough time to learn about all the things I want to learn about, or to comment enough on Instagram and Facebook to all the people that I want to meet. And so I was just thinking, let's be like Teddy, y'all.